In honesty, no, I never thought that I'd make it to managing director. Back then it was just an exciting football-centric environment to be in. But I think it's testament to the culture at SoccerX, and it's something we continue now, that we make sure people who join the company have the chance to thrive. And that's something that will continue into the future. My three most memorable SoccerX moments. It's a tough one. There's lots to choose from. I think if I've got to go with three. First one would be having to provide or assist with the security of Ronaldo in Brazil, the Fenomeno, broadly because it was pointless. The guy is enormous and revered as a god. So if he wanted people to move out of his way or the press to clear a path, they did it for him, not for us. Maradona coming to our event in Jordan. Like, what an individual. I mean, so full of life, so kind of bubbly, wearing 3 watches just in case, if we've got the time. Happy to do keepy uppy with the kids who were there, using tennis balls or ping pong balls or footballs. That was great. And then another one which was really kind of a special moment was when we had Eusebio and Bobby Charlton. We reunited them at one of our European forums in Manchester. And they got to exchange shirts on the 45th anniversary of the European Cup final they both played in. So I think those would be my top 3. Favourite city to host a SoccerX event in is a really hard choice. They're all great in their own ways. I'm a big fan of travel, so it's going to be one that's outside the UK. Dubai was a big learning experience for me. First time that I've done an event internationally, and it was amazing in the early 2000s. Johannesburg was a great adventure just before the World Cup in 2010. But I think Rio would probably be the winner for me for a couple of different reasons. It's a football mad nation. It was building up to a World Cup. Amazing people, amazing food, amazing weather and scenery. And I also met my wife there. So if I don't pick Rio, then I think I'm going to get a fair bit of trouble back home. I think that there's been a lot of people that I've learned from in the football industry. If I had to pick one from the many people that I've had the chance to interact with, like some real visionaries and leaders, I'd pick Duncan Reevely, our founder. Obviously had the most interaction with him as well. But even in starting up SoccerX, he was very much a visionary. He had a really unique way of looking at things and always approached things from the angle you weren't expecting. But he was really solid on all fronts, like philosophy, business, personally. That showed through everyone who met him. Kind of really came away feeling they'd met a really good guy. So I think in how to operate as a person and a businessman, I think Duncan's the person I learned the most of, and in how he treated his staff. His dad started this at the clubs that he ran, where it was very much a family feel, where the manager was the kind of head of the family, and the players and the staff were the kids that he was looking after, and that continued here at SoccerX. And it's something that we try to embody now as well, that we're a family. We all work together in the business, but it goes beyond that. To make sure that we're the leading business in football for the next 25 years, as we have been for the past 25, the first thing we're doing is presuming that we won't be there, and also not presuming that football will look as it does today. I think that's the thing that we've learned the most in the last quarter century, is that things change and they can change very rapidly, and you have to be ready to innovate and to adapt your products to best suit your clientele and to suit the market. The last year has shown how important that is, and our ability to pivot to a digital delivery has been really, really important. But I think, yeah, making sure that you stay client focused is something else which is vital. At the end of the day, we're here to service the international football community. And as long as we remember that and we put that as our priority, then I think, yeah, when we come to the 50th anniversary, we'll be having another good conversation. The big changes in our event delivery over the past year were partially planned and partially enforced. We've always had a strategic roadmap for where we want to end up with the SoccerX products we offer. Some of that was just accelerated by the inability to host physical events in the wake of the pandemic. To provide the industry with a 365-day solution is something we've been looking to do for a long time, and we're getting closer towards that with every step. The new products that we offer from a media standpoint are definitely helping to do that, and there's more products that will be rolling out throughout 2021 to make sure that no matter where you are in the world or whenever it is, SoccerX are there to assist you. The game has changed remarkably in the last 25 years, and I expect there to be significant changes in the next 25. I think the constants will be probably as illuminating as the changes. I think football is still built on the back of fans, and the last 12 to 18 months have shown the importance of having fans closely interacting with the game in stadiums, at tournaments, and so on and so forth. So I think that will continue to be really important. But I think the kind of pervasion of technology, both as a fan interaction tool and also for officiating, will kind of go through the roof as technology gets better and better, whether traditionalists like it or not. Lots of conversations at SoccerX offers about that. I think women's football will really kind of hit into a new gear. I think in 25 years, we'll be looking at a very different sport. On a global level, there's going to be some big changes in the balances of power, I think. We're looking at kind of like the growth of populations in Africa by the middle of this century. Nigeria is going to be one of the most populated countries on earth. Africa is the youngest continent. And there's a lot of work to be done to make sure that the youth there are really serviced by football, and to help them socially, to help them physically, mentally, all those kind of things. And then I'd also quite like to see some change to the point system. I think there's quite a few things that can be done on the administration side of the game. So things like you see in other sports where you might get bonus points for scoring a certain amount of goals, or if you only lose by a certain margin. I think that would also help with some of the dead rubber games that you see in tournaments where the last game in the group stage doesn't matter. So I think that's something else that we'll probably see in the next few years. But I'm looking forward to being proved wrong by something that's completely unexpected. My proudest SoccerX moment is, again, it's a hard one to choose. Over 15 years, lots of things to be proud of. I think if I had to choose one, then actually the work of our team in the past year is something that I'm really proud of. How everyone has stepped up to the plate and delivered some really amazing events in the toughest circumstances. The way that they've taken as much of the essence of SoccerX events and taken them online has been incredible, and I think can't be prouder of how they've all worked. And to flip the script slightly and to anticipate what might come out during this anniversary celebration, my least proud moment is actually at one of our events in Manchester, where, against my better judgment, dressed in the wrong equipment with slightly too little sleep, I entered a football training machine and eventually ended up on my back like a turtle. So on the presumption that video will be making the rounds at some point, that's my least proud moment. Soccer X in 5 words or less. I only need 4, actually. Soccer X is football connected.